then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. So don't worry too much. Somebody's interested in everything. And anything you can be interested in, you'll find others will. But it's absolutely stupid to spend your time doing things you don't like.
All right, we are out here at FD Seattle. I love this place. You can't ever tell in a picture. See those mountains over there? You can't tell in picture or video how beautiful it is. But this place is gorgeous. I visited Oregon like 6 years ago and I've wanted to move to the Pacific Northwest ever since. And coming back here for the first time in like 6 years, I just fell in love all over again. I want to move here. But anyway, this is FD Seattle. I'm gonna try to film some stuff. I think we'll try to do some behind the scenes stuff with some of the drivers and all that stuff, because that stuff's fun to film and it's interesting even for me. So that's the plan for today, / tomorrow, / if I can have time to film a video at all. The sounds of everyone warming their cars up for qualifying, well, practice then qualifying. I decided today I want to do what we did before in New Jersey last year, which is like what's inside the cars of FD. So we'll go around and I'll try to tell you what like engines inside each car and kind of like a little bit about at least what I know, because it's pretty interesting. There's a decent variety while a lot of things are still the same, if that makes sense. So we're gonna do that. All right, so this is Alex Hilburn's car, E46. Not sure what suspension's on it. It looks aftermarket in the rear, but it is a big LS like race engine with a Whipple root style blower on it. Millennium Motorsports. This is probably some crazy like 480 cc or something wild like that. It's interesting, the intake's at the back of the blower, so it goes up under the dash. Like you can see the air box right down there. Yeah, but this is rad. This is like full-on race motor. Inky wheels. I presume Wisefab? No, something else. All right, moving on. All right, this is like a team car. Like there's a guy that owns it. I forget his name. My friend's friends with him and works for him. Robbie Nishida drove this car. Now it's another Japanese guy, but it's got like a VR38 in it. From what I understand, like GTR motor, like built. They're all like either BC or HKS built, twin turbo and all that. Michael S's car would be here. We'll come back to that. All right, so here we have Odi Bakchi's car, and he himself is working on it. He himself does like suspension setup and stuff. He makes his car fast with like knowledge and technical understanding, which is really cool. It's an LS, probably a 408, I would guess. It seems to be the common displacement for force boost applications. But it's got a centrifugal blower on it. I'm in the way. Don't want to be in the way. They're setting tow though, making suspension setup changes as he does. Wisefab in the front. Then we have Dai Yoshihara's car, similar setup but turbo. Is it single turbo still? Yeah, it's a big single turbo. You can see it's huge. Very large turbo, dual wastegates. Some sort of race motor. These all look racier than I thought. Really wild intake manifold, aluminum. You can see it, like the machining marks, you know, it's TIG welded up. I believe this car was twin turbo when it was first built, and then they went to single turbo, because I always made the mistake of calling it twin turbo and saying it was twin turbo, but it's not. It's BRZ. Obviously, I believe this was one of the early BRZs to get into drifting. He had a lot of teething issues with this car because there just wasn't a lot of data on it at the time, you know, when he got into it and he was driving it. So they were constantly making setup changes, but the setup change may make the car better, but you don't know the car, so it makes it harder to drive. But now, you know, there's probably a quarter or 1/3 of the field is the FRS BRZ chassis, so they've become very, very common. And now there's all the data out there. That's the hard thing with a oddball car, is you don't have all that technical data of like, this works, this doesn't work, here's this setup, here's this angle kit, here's the caster that most people run, spring rate. This is Andy Seehausen. He has a, what engine do you have inside your heart?
Oh, I have an RB20.
He has an RB20 in his heart?
I have the best budget engine ever.
No, it's in your heart. We're talking, this is how you're built. We're talking about the cars. I'm doing the same thing I did in Jersey.
What?
The like what's inside the cars thing.
In here?
So what's inside you?
Red Bull.
All right. So he has a Red Bull engine system. So the Wardhouse cars, we've gone over these before, but very, very simple setup. 3 liter?
3-liter.
3-liter 2J.
Dry sump.
Dry sump, that's the big
Nitrous.
thing. Nitrous. Nitrous, explain why nitrous is used on FD cars.
It's less volatile than putting a 40 on it.
A 40?
Yeah, like a GTX 40
Oh, okay,
or something
okay.
like that.
Do they run them in boost? They run the nitrous in boost? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people use it just to spool the cars.
No, we run relatively small turbos, but we run nitrous the whole time.
Okay, okay. So
we
just to
get-
increase the power level.
We'll probably get 6-7 laps out of a full bottle of nitrous.
Okay. That's wow. That's kind of not a lot.
7's pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild.
Yep, that's why we carry 2 mother bottles with us at all times.
Like the giant. So loud. How is this car so loud being turbo?
Theirs,
Yeah, most turbo cars aren't loud.
his is a 4.1 liter. So it's
So
no longer
loud.
a 3.7.
So loud. But yeah, that's the lowdown on these cars. Wisefab. I mean, they're really basic, and they kind of prove that driver is really the most important thing in this game. As long as your car is reliable, and you have a reliable team member that runs on Red Bull.
We show up every time.
Yeah, that's the key. Showing up and not bowing out because your car broke.
Yeah. No, we definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
Yesterday we spent 3 hours wrestling a steering rack out of it just so he could get one pass out of it.
Oh my God. See, that is why I like my 350Z. It just works. They suck to work on though.
They do suck to work.
They suck to work on.
I love my R32.
Yeah,
It's the
so
best
simple.
car ever.
So simple. But yeah, that's it. That's the lowdown on these cars. Oh, and they have an extra car. Oh, and to tell the difference between these two, there's James Dean's car is right here. It is right-hand drive. Piator's is left-hand drive. And the color scheme is different. His is mostly red on the roof, blue on the roof. It's really hard to tell though from the glance. Okay, continuing on. Can't go down that way, I don't think. That's like hot pits, so we'll go this way. So this is Christoph's Boost car, all carbon fiber, E90 generation BMW, naturally aspirated mass motorsports, like 483 cubic inch or something crazy like that. I don't know if they run nitrous or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. Wisefab front and rear suspension. This car is rad though. It's really, really well built. The rear mount radiator setup, you can see like the ducting for it's carbon fiber, like the body's carbon fiber. Like they just, you can see the dash. They kind of like retain the factory dash, but carbon fiber, and those engines are insane. Those massive. They make like 800 horsepower naturally aspirated, but they're expensive. They're like 50 grand, I think. Sequential box Samsonis, I believe they run. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. Not really a simple build, but a really, really rad car. One of the coolest NFD in my opinion. Ryan Turk's car, FRS BRZ chassis. I think it's FRS. I don't know. I never remember these things. 2J, 3.4 stroker, Brian Crowder. Not sure of the turbo size, 800-900 horsepower. I believe Wisefab front and rear? I'm not sure. This is when I realized I don't know as much as I thought I did. How's it going? How's it going? The GT 4586, 458 motor. They do the exhaust coming out the front. You guys have probably all seen this demo car, just like a fun kind of build. And this is Alex's car, S14, supercharged LS, Roots style blower, Magnuson supercharger. Wisefab at least in the front. See if I can get a better angle of it. And you've got Vaughn and Chelsea's car. These are like as close as you get to factory built in Formula Drift. They run the Roush Yates race engines, which are like $80,000 insane race motor. It's like another 800 horsepower naturally aspirated combo. They've got all sorts of widgetry going on in the suspension that I know a little bit about, but I'm not going to tell you about. 4-speed GSR style dog box, not sequential. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple cars. They're rad though. Hey, how's it going? Oh, we'll grab a NOS. NOS has sponsored events for years. Can I just do the regular? I gotta give a little shout out to NOS because they have been sponsoring events. They used to sponsor CFRC events back in the day. Small little grassroots track. They still sponsor events. Oh, we gotta say hi to Mishimoto. All right, this is Michael S.'s car. E46, I believe Wisefab. It's a BMW engine though. It's not a 2J like a lot of these are. Or LS, you know, it's a S54 turbo. Unless that changed, I might be wrong, but But otherwise, pretty much like most of the B46s here. So I took a right here, and then I got to the end, and I was like, dude, that's not all the cars. Like, we're missing a lot of cars. Like, where are they? Oh, they're this way. All right, so this is Frederick Oswald's car, some sort of new Corolla IM or something like that. It's a sedan hatch, which I think is really cool. I like the wheels. I really like this car this year.
Yeah, that's nice.
But it runs the 2AR 4-cylinder. Oh, you're fine. Out of a minivan, I believe. It's like a 2.2 liter, and they're like fully built. They have a lot of experience in drag racing, Papadakis racing. But they make like 1,000 horsepower out of that motor, and they can really like pull the motor out and swap it between sessions. Like they're that dialed with the way that everything's set up. And then it's obviously like all semi-custom. This is a front-wheel drive car, so I don't know anything about that, but it works. Obviously, he does really well. This is the Incarnati's Viper. This is actually a new one. This car and the other car that he had were the old what's the dude's name? Samuel Houbinet Vipers. And this is like a fresh build. Like it's a whole new car basically. Twin turbo Viper motor, Viper stuff. Oh, they got a sim. They got the same setup as me. Matt Kaufman's car, I believe it's a Roush Yates motor in there. Weissfab. I don't know much more about it. It's a hatch though, really cool car. I've always liked that car. Derek Stratton C6. This is an all naturally aspirated car as well. They just put that Holley high-rise intake on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of a bad time because they're about to go off for qualifying, but he has some sort of custom angle kit. And that's about it. Stick aftermarket front arm, stock rear arm. 370Z LS supercharged, Auto Box supercharger. Hey, how's it going? Justin Pollock Mustang with the Coyote 5.0 supercharged. I thought it was a Roush Yates style motor, but it's not. It's a supercharged Coyote motor. Jonathan Castro, the only FRS BRZ running the 2AR, same motor as is in Osbo's car. Otherwise, pretty much the same as all the other FRS BRZs, Weissfab, front and rear suspension, all that. Also built by Papadakis. I think they still are on that team, Papadakis. You guys already saw that. There's Rad Dan Supra. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. We got Forest Wings cars. He just finished this Supra, which is rad. I saw him testing. It's just a stock motor. It makes like 550 wheel. And then you got his S15. I believe they stay 3 liter as well. They run about 800 horsepower. Big turbos with nitrous to spool the turbos, and baller wheels, which is the coolest part. Style King of FD. Look at this. When those are your drift spears, you know you're doing something right. What else? Kevin Lawrence's car would be there, but he's not here. Taylor Hull's car is Cadillac ATS with some form of LS. I believe it's supercharged. I think. I don't remember, but it's a ATS Cadillac, which is cool. I think it's probably the first Cadillac in drifting. He's had some teething issues with this car as well, but he seems to be getting it sorted. Austin Meek, LS Weissfab 240 supercharged. And you got Matt Fields Corvette. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the L videos on Donut Garage with this thing. Really rad car though, like carbon fiber body panels. Same supercharged LS that was in his old car, I believe, or similar setup, like 408 stroker, centrifugal supercharger, baller rotiform wheels. I feel like a pretty common setup, like 408 Ferrari. I think it sounds good here. I don't know if they changed the exhaust, but it sounds rad. He's doing it. I think that's it. Oh, and then Cameron Moore's car. Pretty standard 2J FRS BRZ Weissfab front and rear. He's on our Corolla version as well. All right, I think that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to try to come back and do kind of the more like well-known cars and see if we can talk to like Osbo or something and kind of have him break down like what's done to his car and all that stuff. Because that car is really interesting because it's not just like a modified car. It's like basically a purpose-built drift car from like a factory backing. I guess that would be even closer to factory backing or factory backing. here. Like them and Chelsea and Vaughn are like the only 3 that I know of that have like, I guess Justin Pog and Roush. How's it going? Thank you. Yeah, okay. So to be continued. You probably couldn't see me the whole time because of the sun, but that's okay. I don't want to walk backwards. People are already staring. You have, is it Matt Van Kirk? Matt Van Kirk, I think. There's a build to this car on Sylvia, but Sujet. I think he's definitely from this area, so he knows this track well. He should do well today. This viewer drew this for me while he was here in the stands watching and came over and gave it to me. Super nice guy. I didn't get his name, but I much appreciate it. It's super cool. Alan Watts for the intro, YouTube. This is so cool. Like, how did he come up with all this, like, on the spot? It's so rad. It's like one of the cooler things I've ever gotten. They're doing this like little like run through course and they time you. Coley just did it. That was funny. Day 2, drivers meeting starting up back there. I'm gonna take the time while nobody's in here, since the gates don't open for another half hour, and I'm gonna run and film some of these show cars because some of them look pretty rad on the way in. So take a little detour from the cars of FD and look at some cool show cars. Super clean 350 with carbon fiber front fenders. Oh, and some side skirts. It's got a cool arrow. I've never seen arrow. I really like these cars. Subaru with a roof rack. Pretty standard for the P&W. KT. That's chassis. This is what I want. I really want a Datsun 510. I'm conflicted on if I would want a sedan or a coupe. But just look at how rad that is. These are so cool though. I love these cars. They're getting really hard to find though. That would be like probably my vintage build choice if I did one. Or like something crazy. How's it going? Miata. Ooh, 100 Mark II.
You just like rifled them and they were done? No, I didn't even have it.
This is my choice of the JZXs, 100 Mark II. I don't like the Chaser as much. Comment below, Chaser or Mark II? Mark II all day for me. Alright, well, that's it for the car show. I just figured I'd check it out. Alright, we just packed up the booth. We should have just enough time to go watch Top 16. I haven't filmed much today. I've been super busy, but I did meet a lot of you, which was super rad. Talked to a lot of cool people. Talked about the Pacific Northwest and how I want to move here. Really awesome day. And I got a visitor, Ben. No. He's being awkward, but this is Ben.E. We tandem a lot on the sim. I've tandem with him for like, what, 2 years now probably, and I've never met him in real life. And this is our first time meeting in real life. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But we're gonna go watch some Top 16. You probably can't see me at all because of the sun. Okay.
James Dean and Chase. We saw these guys in battle New Jersey right now. Put on a show. Go to the final. Peter and James. James Dean from the left. James goes.
Let's look at how beautiful this is. And then, bye, Cressida. Your off-ramps, Washington, are very driftable looking. It's so pretty here though. So scenic. The weather is perfect. That's it for this video. Really fun. I think James Dean won it. I'm not sure. I didn't catch the very end we left. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.